Sometimes you just have to make yourself a bouquet on a Monday to reward yourself for running errands. Come along as I show y'all how I pick out the flowers and then make this homemade bouquet for under $30 in my tiny city kitchen. Today is feeling like such a Monday. I was not in the mood to get dressed to go run errands. I honestly didn't even want to go run errands, but I had to return these sandals that I tried on that are too small. And I told myself that the sooner I return these, the sooner I get the size up, and the more likely that I can have them for my trip to Barcelona in 2 weeks. So to treat myself as a good job, you did the errands you're supposed to, I'm gonna go pick up some flowers from Trader Joe's because it's right next to the post office. And since I'm already over there, might as well. And let's see what bouquet we can put together. Maybe I say like a bouquet under $20 is the challenge.
You want some red ones too. You want some red ones?
Post office line was literally like 42 minutes long. Finally got everything, and let's hope this adventure was worth it. I fully did not expect that to be like a 2-hour long venture, but we made it and it's time to put this all together. While I get the flowers in order, I need to throw a slice of pizza in the oven. I'm so glad I always have these table 87 slices on hand because it would have been silly to make a whole pizza, and this just works for now. But my brain is so fried that you don't have to take it out of the freezer until the oven's already preheated. So I'm gonna go throw that back in. The best thing I've learned when it comes to making my own floral arrangements is that you can actually be really happy with how the bouquet looks, even if they're flowers you normally wouldn't pick out. So like I used to avoid carnations all the time. One, because they just didn't look that full and pretty, which I'll show y'all that you can actually make them look fuller. This was something that I learned last summer and changed the whole way I look at carnations. And then same with like the filler flower. It always used to seem just like so sad, but once you start making your own bouquets, you're like, okay, just because my favorite flower isn't in stock, you actually can still make a bouquet you're absolutely obsessed with. So the vase I'm gonna use is this one. It's just the only one I have empty right now. And I'm gonna fill it up with water. I'm gonna fill myself up with water. I'm parched. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is just start unwrapping these for my workspace. So the flowers I got are Chamomile, Gerbera, Veronica, Carnations, and Green Accent. Every floral class I've ever taken, they say that you really don't need to use the powder that comes with them. I can never remember the reasoning why, but I've stopped using it and I've just been using vinegar instead, and I feel like my flowers are doing great. Also, when I make my bouquets, I will reuse the parts of an older one. This is from last week, and I can still absolutely use the greenery from this one, even though some of these flowers, not all of them, have had their run. I thought I was going to be able to do this in under $20, but if I take out the cherry lemon animal crackers that I grabbed because I was starving in line, I think it came out to $27 after tax. So we were close, but oh well. The only thing I need to do after these all out. Also, ideally, I would have set down parchment paper on this table, and that way, then a cleaner pickup. Whatever. Okay, I have my bunches, and I need to grab some tape. I think I actually can put this together before my oven preheats, which is absolutely wild. Okay, so I'm gonna grab whatever tape I had on hand that's wide enough to cover the rim here, and I'm gonna use this as my grid. You can use actual floral tape for this. I'm just using what I have, and we're just gonna make it work. So I'm just gonna cut this into smaller slices so that I can create a little grid. Something like this thick. I'm gonna have 3 or 4 go across, depending on how much room it looks like there's gonna be. Doesn't have to be perfect. The thing about floral arrangements, if they're just like for the home and obviously you're not doing an event or anything, and even then, is it doesn't have to be perfect because it's nature related. And I feel like whenever something has to do with nature, it's most beautiful in its imperfect form where it's just created how it is. And I think we try to get too rigid sometimes with craft projects like this. And I don't know, don't y'all think that it's okay? I don't know, don't y'all think that sometimes it's okay for things to look handmade? I feel like I wouldn't do half the projects that I do if they had to look perfect. One of my favorite examples of this is for Christmas. It was either Christmas or my boyfriend's birthday. No, it was Christmas. I made Connor these. Oh, my pizza's ready. This literally takes just 7 minutes. It is truly a lifesaver. But for Christmas, I had like decided 1 week before max that I was going to make him needlepoint coasters. And so I had to work pretty quickly, and I hadn't done needlepoint in a really long time, probably like the year prior, because it's my wintertime cozy inside little project. And if you see them, you can tell they're handmade. And this was also our first Christmas together, and I was a little nervous that it wasn't like perfect and did look handmade, but I was like, he's the type of person who that wouldn't bother him at all. And then he showed his family, and then I was like, oh no, they're gonna think that I think that I'm good at this, and I'm not. Because like I'm okay with things looking homemade, but I don't want people to think that like I think I'm good at it by any means. Regardless, I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad that I just am totally fine with things looking homemade, because all that matters is that you're doing something with your hands off your screen and brings joy. Okay, so this is going to be like my main focal points, and I want to start with just 3, and I want them to be a little bit different in length, just to give this some dimension. And where I'm going to place them within the grids, I'm just going to play around with it. But what I do want is to kind of put them where they would fall naturally. So like, see how this one is leaning to the right? I want to like let it do that lean. So I'm going to put it all the way across on the grid here. If that makes sense. But my tape just came apart. Please hold. Okay. This is what we get for not using the tape that we wanted. Okay. That's okay. We'll learn with it. If you get anything from any of these videos, is that sometimes done is better than perfect. Okay, the problem is that it's just a little, the square's not white enough. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Here. So that's good there. But I don't want it that tall. So I'm going to trim it. This would probably be a lot easier if I wasn't getting a little bit angry. Okay, that one there. I'm going to take this one. The other thing to keep in mind, you're going to feel like you're doing a really bad job until the very end. I know it's annoying because it's going to feel like you're making no progress at all. But it's kind of the journey of it. And honestly, I think that that's what makes this so kind of fulfilling, because all of a sudden you realize, oh wow, that is actually really pretty. Okay, so we have that. Now I think we do some carnations. I'm going to start with these two. I'm going to take these leaves off. I don't want any leaves at risk of touching the water. And then if you want to make your carnation look as full as this one, you just have to start squeezing it. Be gentle, but as you start squeezing it, you'll see it opens up. You can help it a little bit if you're really gentle. But just kind of squeeze and roll. And all of a sudden you have like such a pretty flower. I remember when I was in Pi-Phi, our flower was the carnation, the wine carnation. We were always so annoyed by that because it was like the cheap flower. I don't know what movie. I feel like there's a movie that said something like carnations are the cheap, embarrassing flower. So anyway, we were all so like sad that our sorority had the bad cheap flowers that you would never want to buy for yourself. Oh no, we had a decapitation. That's okay. Let's grab this guy. The first few floral arrangement classes that I took that happened with my roses, there's like, because like with roses, you can open them up by going like this. But if you do it too hard, it obviously falls off. So that's not ideal. How big? This a bit shorter. Okay. Now I want to do some greenery. I'm gonna do so I have no strategy here. I'm just truly winging this in the floral arrangement classes that I take. there's a little bit more direction because the teacher has like their example. But here we're just really going for it. Stick those there. I like having the greenery have the height to it. We don't want all of it to have. Alexa, stop. That's good so far. And then check out my pizza. Put my pizza bread. Now I'm like, enough time has passed and I'm not hungry anymore, but I need to eat before my event tonight. And we're gonna take the chamomile, separate it. Oh boy, that was not gentle and dainty here. I want that shorter. Down here. See here, I think I'm kind of tempted to put carnation, make this carnation a little bit shorter, or I could just grab one of my extra carnations later and fill that space, but we'll see. Save this for later. Now we're gonna go on to these. Just gonna start sticking in places. Also, rules of 3 is really helpful too. So, in theory, I could do like, I have these two that are the same and then add a taller one at the top here. Or I could do something with 3 of these. Let's see. Do one here. And then shorter one here. And one more. And put it here. Put it. You just have to play around here. Okay, so now we've done a little bit of everything, so we can start filling in whatever gaps we want. So I think I still do want to put one more taller one up here. Let's see if I need to cut this. So the reason why I keep moving it around is because it is kind of falling in its natural direction. So I want to figure out where the best place for that is. This is what it looks like so far. we're gonna do this last one right here, I think. Ah, these guys a little too tall, maybe. Get it. Doesn't this make such a difference? If I could say there was one favorite lesson I learned from the floral arrangement class, this is it by far. Kind of want him to be tall. No, I don't. Take it back. I do still kind of want it to be. Oh, remember how I wanted a carnation right here? Do that. And then one more of these, two more of these left. You don't have to use everything. I just don't have another empty vase right now, and I don't want these to go to waste. These get $10 so easy. One goes right here. And then this is my fancy little $27 with tax Trader Joe's flower vase.